Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time to do a deep dive video on our boy Luke. Okay, so Luke is kind of an interesting character. He is he's a day one launch character. He was a pre-launch character. He's an energy AoE character. He is very, very good. He is very, very complex. He is also kind of very hard to get. So he's an interesting character because they put him in the week 1. When you start a new account in week 1, he's going to be one of the banners. Now you can choose, or you have to choose, him or Ravenna. Both good characters kind of do the same thing, but the game is going to give you a free copy of Ravenna in the grand ceremony. So ideally, you would want to pull on her banner to get another copy in order to have a higher evolved version of Ravenna. Now, is Ravenna better? That's arguable, but so I'm saying Luke is a little bit more exclusive. I'm going to take you over. I'm going to show you something right now. This is going to get very bright. Shield your eyes. And I'll make this bigger so that you can actually read it. Let's actually even make it bigger. Okay, so Luke is, you're going to get him in week 1. And then as you see right here, they gave us Luke on January 18th. Now, keep in mind the game came out around November at the same time. So November to December to January, 2 months. It was 2 months in, they gave us a copy of Luke, but we didn't have a whole lot of characters back then, as you see. Luke, first global release banner, but he's a week 1 starter banner. Now, they haven't given us another Luke since. I do keep track. This is on my spreadsheet, which is in the description of this video. I keep a track of how long it's been since each character has been released on a banner. And if we go down to the bottom, I am forecasting that Luke is going to be on the May 4th banner. This can be completely wrong because they don't follow a release schedule on how often these come out. They kind of just throw them out there willy-nilly, but they do have to keep in mind that the longer they go in between banners, the more of a disservice they're doing to new players. So I did call the Azina banner correctly. At the time that she, before her banner was launched, it was her at the longest intervals between release dates, and then Emma. So she was 16 weeks, and obviously since the week is flipped over, now Emma is caught up to her, kind of, in a way, whatever, 15 weeks. But if they are going by just the intervals between banners, I think that Scour will be the next return banner on April 27th, but then Luke is next up, with it being 13 weeks, so over 3 months since we've seen a Luke banner. So again, very, very exclusive character. I'm putting this out now in case he does come around so that you can be prepared. So let me close that on that window. And like we do on all of these in-depth character deep dive, how to gear, how to build videos, I had to record the footage on my phone since the account that you're seeing behind my head right now doesn't even have a single copy of Luke. I just don't. Even my other free-to-play account does not have a copy of Luke. I got a copy of Ravenna finally. But Luke is, like I said, Luke's exclusive. He is so good, though. He is such a good character, as you're going to see in the recorded footage. So, without further ado, now let's go over to that footage and get into the deep dive of Luke. Alright, take 3 since my phone hates me. So there's my Luke. Hyper Evolve on his way to level 120 because he is that good, as we discussed in the opening. Let's dive right in. I'm going to go over his kit first before his gear, because his gear takes a long time given its complexity and flexibility in what you can run. Let's expand that. This is his ultimate, Night Curse. Luke unleashes the power of the Dark Crows, which is so metal, summoning a Dark Crow swarm, dealing 286% damage. That obviously goes up with his level to enemies in a large area and inflicting 2 layers of Crow's Curse for 8 seconds. Crow's Curse is also going to be referred to as Night Curse
in this in his kit, so keep that in mind. What does it do? Every time the enemy has one layer of it, the defense is reduced by 5% for 8 seconds, stacking up to 3 layers. So you can reduce defense by 15% pretty much continually throughout this battle, because I do believe it's an exclusive that makes it so that every skill can apply 1 stack of Night Curse. So you're going to constantly over and over again apply AoE defense down. Now this is very cool because I don't think there's another character that has an AoE defense down. There probably is, but actually now that I come to think of it, I think Crete has that. I think some of the Vanguards have that, but yeah, no, very, very cool. It's a very, very powerful debuff. Talent modifier. When the Night Curse, see, they're already calling it Night Curse, on an enemy reaches 3 stacks, all of the damage dealt by Luke's skills is converted to true damage. Luke's skill will no longer be able to crit. So, and they do say all skills, Luke's skills. So very, very important. They have never given us a definitive definition of what true damage does. It's not in the stat tables. If it works like other games, it will bypass defense reduction in defense. More so probably it's just going to bypass the defense of characters. So he's going to apply defense down on his ultimate, AoE defense down, and then his skills are going to move. It's kind of redundant. They're going to bypass that defense anyway. His first skill, Night Energy. Luke launches a ball of energy that explodes upon impact with the target. Deals 147 and that percentage goes up. Attack damage to nearby enemies and grants a stack of Night Curse for 8 seconds. So it is another AoE, and the talent modifier is going to make it explode times 2. The talent ball generates an additional explosion, inflicting 60% attack damage, but this additional explosion cannot add another stack. So his ultimate's going to apply 2 stacks. This skill's going to apply 1 stack. Another AoE, a crescent laser, deals 177 and that goes up, right? Deals damage, a percentage of attack damage to enemies in its path, and deals 1 Night Curse stack for 8 seconds. So ultimate 2, first ability 1, this ability 1, right? A crescent laser. But there's more. It gets better. Talent modifier reads, this will increase his attack by 10%. So you're going to build him attack. He's going to multiply or add a multiplier onto his own attack value. If we go into his passive, Night Recharge. If Luke's skills hits more than 1 non-summoned enemy, which it probably will, he's going to gain 10 energy for each additional enemy hit, up to 100% energy per skill. Per skill, right? And at level 3, which is the 220 level break, the energy gained by hitting enemies increased to 14. Additional energy gained by each skill is increased to 30 or 100, sorry. So up to 100 energy per skill, gaining 14 energy per enemy hit. Talent modifier reads, recover a bonus of 2 energy per hit. So Luke is a massive AoE character. His skills apply defense down. Once you reach 3 stacks, his skills turn into true damage dealing skills, and one of his skills adds a multiplier onto his attack. Okay, so that is his kit, right? An AoE attack-based monster and a debuffer. So talents, this is gonna be really quick. Do them all. Do every single one, even all of these. If you get them that high, I recommend completely doing his entire kit. His exclusive. So here we go. We're going to add some more multipliers on this baby. Luke's skills, or increase all of Luke's skills damage, not attack percentage, or a percentage of attack as damage, but just straight increases damage by 8% on all his skills. So multipliers on multipliers on multipliers. His X10. Luke deals an additional 10% attack, or 10% of attack damage to enemies whose defense is reduced, which is going to be all of them. Another multiplier. His X20. All skills will inflict an additional 1 stack of Night Curse to the enemies. Enemies with reduced defense take 20% more attack damage. So now his ultimate's going to apply 3 stacks. So he's instantly going to be at 3 stacks. His other 2 attack-based skills are going to apply 2 stacks of Night Curse. This man is always going to be, well, I shouldn't call him a man, he's a bird. Always going to have the enemies in a constant state of 3 stacks of Night Curse, and he's always going to be in a constant state of dealing true damage. And this skill, again, enemies with reduced defense, so even just 1 stack, will take 20% more attack damage. Multipliers on multipliers on multipliers. And then his X30, which in my opinion isn't that great. His Crescent Energy will emit an additional Crescent Laser, which is an AoE. You know, it's a straight line attack. Anyone caught in its path gets affected, causing 140% attack damage. So that one's not very important, but at X30, you're really looking for that bump up in attack and damage amplification. Defense reduction is nice too, because you don't want this guy dying. But this guy's kit is bonkers, and it is very well built for a day 1 release character. Okay, so now let's get into his gear. His gear is where stuff gets complicated. If you are a brand new player, day 1 player, or a first 5-week player, a beginner character, or beginner player, sorry, and you're going for Luke, you're probably going to have all hero gear. You're going to build him 3 sets of hero gear, which is this type of gear, right? And you're going to build him with attack primary hands, attack primary head, attack primary boots, and then up top you're going to look for attack percentage substats. That's how you're going to probably initially build your Luke. Now things get a little bit complex. So if we go first, I want to talk about Surge gear. Surge gear is kind of the catch-all gear, right? It's good for PvP, it's good for PvE. So if you don't want to have to be messing around with switching out sets of gear, just build Luke with a good Surge set. You're going to kind of do it the same stats as the hero set. Attack hands, attack head, attack feet, and then again look for attack percent attack percent primaries on your secondaries. Did I say attack percent primaries? Attack percentage secondaries. You're going to look for an attack percent secondary as the main secondary stat. As you see, this guy's got 33% crit rate, crit damage. Okay, that's nice, but that is not necessary, since true damage is going to, once you get up to, 3 stacks of Night Curse, he can't crit anyway. So crit rate and crit damage is redundant. Just look for as much attack as possible on your Surge set. And again, Surge set is going to be your catch-all PvE and PvP set if you don't want to switch. Now, if you do want to switch, you can build your Luke, where is it? In crit rate, crit damage. But you have to do some tweaks to him. So if you build him with all Sun Signet sets, you're going to run crit damage on the hands, attack on the head, attack on the boots, and then instead of attack percent secondaries, you're primarily going to be focused, not primaries, primarily going to be focused on crit damage and crit rate secondaries. You see, he's there 1 and 1, 2 and 1, 1 and 1. And then I got crit damage, crit rate on my boots. I got crit damage on my head. And then you can't get crit damage on a crit damage hand, so I got crit rate on my hands. Now, this is a good PvE set. You can deal insane damage numbers in a crit rate, crit damage set, but if you are going to run your Luke that way for PvE content, not that one, you have to make it so that you can actually make use of the crit rate and crit damage. To do that, you have to turn this stat off, this talent off. So reset his talents and don't put any talent points into this one, this one, this one, and this one. Actually, since you don't put any of this one, these ones get negated as well. So you are missing out on 200x attack, and you are missing out on this secondary explosion on your first common skill. But this is what turns him into a true damage dealer, not a crit damage dealer. So you can do really good numbers, but you're gonna have to remember to turn these off. So that is that gear set. Now, That's the PvE gear set. The PvP gear set is the one you see on my Luke right now. So this is a burst set. So a burst set, you're going to want all those talents turned back on. And now you're really making use of his multipliers and the true damage ability of Luke. So every time the user casts a range skill, this is the burst set bonus, they inflict 20 to 80% of his attack as true damage to the target. So an additional big old mollywop of damage that is bypassing his defense that is already turned off or mitigated by his Night Curse stacks. Okay, so he is going to be a backline character that he's going to be able to hit the backline characters since his ultimate is so large. So all of his skills that are ranged are going to inflict a massive amount of true damage. So even more multipliers on multipliers on multipliers. And this set is very nice. You want to go for attack primary hands, attack primary head, attack primary boots. And again, just like the surge set, you're going to have the talents turned on. So you're going to try to focus on attack percent secondaries. I also like attack speed. So you see here attack +1, attack +1, attack +3. And then obviously here you can't get attack percent secondary. So I'm looking for attack speed, HP, right? Survivability stuff down here. So that is how you want to build him for PvP if you are very, very focused on PvP. But you have to remember to switch gear sets, right? Because it's not great. It's not the ideal for PvE content, namely like guild hunt or story modes or wherever else you might want to use him. Okay? So that is how, that is his kit. That is how to build him. That is all of his gear sets. So keep that in mind. I will reference something after this recording, but I want to show you, I don't have a whole lot of footage. He's very, very good in anywhere that's an AoE required fight. He's very, very good in Twilight on the energy bond bosses. Paired with Nord, he is excellent there. But keep in mind, I switch him to a surge set for PvE content. Katosian Triangle, he's good in Crimson Rot, right? Which is a energy PvE or PvE AoE type content. He's good in Sincero, but really you're not going to use him because you're not going to really need him there in any of those. Crimson Abyss, you're not going to use him. Mainly Guild Hunt, Spider Boss, Twilight Lands, any event that requires AoE, and then PvP. So I'm going to show you some I'm going to do a couple fights against Venom. Venom is a top level PvP player. He builds his characters around PvP. He has taken first in Summon Arena, so he's a good person to go against. Now, the team comp. So Miranda, as I said, we already went through Luke's kit, multipliers and multipliers and multipliers. Miranda adds even more multipliers. My Miranda is only X20. As such, I can only give one injection, which is a 20% attack damage boost, which is going to go to Luke since he's the attack damage based character. If I had an X30, it would probably go to Ravenna, but I would probably tweak the numbers to make it so that it goes to my Nord. But the team I'm going against is the full summoner team. That is my old summoner team with Oysa up front. Now, Oysa can throw a monkey wrench into this because Luke can get stunned just by tapping Oysa once. When that happens, it usually doesn't go well. But this video, or while we run this, it's just going to be to highlight Luke in burst set. So I want you to keep in mind Daniel at the back. And here we go. Because Luke can hit Daniel way back there, and in a burst set, he's going to be doing the most amount of damage since he's the furthest away. So Luke is bubbled with the injector. There's Daniel. As you see, he's taken down not as much as he usually does, and unfortunately, my Luke moved forward. And here we go. Ultimate. Boom. Ooh, almost killed. Obviously, Daniel. Oh, there goes Ampu. Boom. Done. Dead. Okay. So while that actually kind of highlighted the whole energy team, I didn't have my damage gauge up there. Let's pull that up again, just so you can get another look. You can like slow that down, or you can rewind and watch that again if you want. I want to pull up. I don't know if I have my damage meter up. There we go. But also again, watch Daniel, because Luke's going to be the only one able to really hit Daniel here. So there, he's almost dead already. Now Luke's going for res. I would prefer he didn't go for res, because I would like him to go for Ampu and Daniel. Oh, here he goes. Here's a shot up to. It's gonna hit Ampu, and it's going to almost. Oh, there's Daniel. Daniel's dead. So here we go. Another big AOE. Bye bye Sorv. Bye bye Ampu. Look at Luke's damage. Look at the damage meter now. 14.9 versus Nord. There we go. So Luke in burst is a beast. All right. Okay.
So are you confused yet? Yeah, Luke is he is a monster. I'm just pulling up one last thing I want to say. I think that the end of the or the safe word of the day for this video is going to be multiples, because I think I said multiple on multiple on multiple at least 5 times in that video. But I hope that highlighted just how good Luke is. But like I said, he's hard to get given his kind of exclusivity unless you focus him. Since you're probably not going to have them early game or mid game. Now, I'm trying... What am I... Oh, yeah, gearing. Okay, so I want to show you guys. I do keep a spreadsheet maintained with gearing. And since Luke is so... got so many different gear ways you can build him. Again... For the video, I gotta blow this up so you guys can actually see it. So here you go. I have the 4 Luke builds: the beginning game hero, the PvE Sun Signet, and then actually the Surge set, which is kind of the catch-all, like I said in the video. Let me turn my music back on, and then the Burst set. So if you guys are confused or didn't really follow that, you don't feel like going back, the link for this spreadsheet is in the description of this video. I put it included in all my videos, as you see. All of these characters have multiple builds, like 3 builds for Ricky, 3 builds for all the assassins, 3 builds for Leo, 3 builds for Nord. We go over here. I got PvP builds for Anpu, Daniel, Oisa. Bunch of stuff's on this spreadsheet, as well as my tier list. That banner rotation that we talked about at the beginning is also on this sheet, even though I kind of got it zoomed out. So I just wanted to highlight that so that you guys can make use of that if you do so choose. So this is the deep dive on Luke, how to build, how to gear. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you made it to the end of this video, put multiples or multiple down in the comment section of this video so that I know you made it to the end. And thanks for coming, guys. Cheers. Peace. Bye-bye, as I find my mouse.